For all your t-shirt needs, check out TeePublic's Killer Selection. Follow the link in the description. Hey, what's up, people? Pizzal here, and today I want to talk to you guys about 1988's Return of the Living Dead Part 2, as requested by J Superstar 2009 in the forum section of my website. And I jumped at the opportunity to talk about Return of the Living Dead Part 2 because I've never talked about the film on this channel, to the best of my knowledge, and I've not seen the movie in a very long time. Now, I love Return of the Living Dead. It is one of the best zombie movies ever, in my opinion. It's just one of my favorite horror movies, in my opinion. It is graphic, it is gory, it is violent, it has a great sense of humor about itself, it has awesome characters, it has awesome dialogue. It's just a great movie. However, I didn't fully appreciate Return of the Living Dead until I was a little bit older, because I was digging Return of the Living Dead Part 2. And that's because Return of the Living Dead Part 2 was pretty much targeted toward a little bit younger demographic than the original Return of the Living Dead. It's a far more toned down zombie movie. It's not as graphic, it's not as gory, it's not as violent. And the characters in the film are predominantly younger people, preteens and teens, of which I was part of that demographic when I first saw the film on VHS. And I loved the movie. I loved everything about the movie. It was just horror enough to make me feel like I was watching a horror movie. It had enough comedic elements in it to kind of, make me laugh here and there. And it was just a fun time. I really enjoyed the movie growing up. Revisiting Return of the Living Dead Part 2 as an adult, it's a great walk down memory lane. It's certainly nice. It's a nice piece of nostalgia, but you definitely see some of the movie's shortcomings watching it as an adult. And the plot revolves around this young man living in this developing McMansion type area. He and his friends stumble across this canister of trioxin. Of course, they open the canister. The green gas spills out. It infects people, turns them into zombies. It seeps into the earth and it resurrects the dead, and they wander around trying to eat people's brains and getting in and out of strangely comedic situations. It's just a fun zombie movie. It's still a really fun zombie movie. However, as I said before, you can definitely pick out a lot of the movie's shortcomings. And I think a lot of the movie's shortcomings have to do with the director, Ken Wiederhorn, who clearly, his heart was not in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. And if you've seen More Brains, the documentary, the expansive documentary about the Return of the Living Dead series, you know that he wasn't a big horror fan. However, he kept getting hired to direct horror movies, and it was a payday. And his heart just wasn't in it. And the screenplay needed a little work, but he just kind of, he according to the cast and crew, his heart wasn't in it. I'll be nice. His heart just wasn't in it. There are some moments in the movie that just don't stand up. There's some moments in the movie that just feel really flat. It's got a lot of flaws. It's certainly got a lot of flaws. However, there is still definitely that fun factor too. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. And a lot of that has to do with the performances of James Caryn and Tom Matthews. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, didn't they die in Return of the Living Dead? They did. They absolutely did. And they're not back as zombies in the sequel. They're back as pretty much exactly the same characters. because the Japanese market loved their characters so much in the original Return of the Living Dead that the producer Tom Fox said, hey, let's write them into the sequel pretty much as the exact same characters. And they both play it up. Neither one of them were taking this movie in any way, shape, form, or fashion seriously. Their performances are, particularly James Caryn's. James Caryn is so hilarious in this movie. I would have loved to have been on the set just hanging out with James Caryn and Tom Matthews while they shot this, because like I said, they clearly were not taking it at all seriously, particularly James Caryn, who is just brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant in this movie. His whining, his crying, his sniveling, his praying, just great stuff. You still have some really good characters in this movie. You have a drunken local doctor who's just sort of very laissez-faire about the fact that a zombie apocalypse is unfolding around him. You do have some nice, funny moments in the film. I've always, no matter how many times I see it, the moment where the little boy gets on the CB radio and he calls into the emergency room and a zombie picks it up and he gets excited because he thinks the zombie's a human being, and the drunken doctor is like, wait a minute. He takes the microphone and he goes, look, who's the president? And the zombie goes, Harry Truman. For some reason, that even now, that just kind of cracks me up. And even though the movie was definitely sort of toned down a bit as far as the blood and the gore are concerned, there's still some blood and gore in this movie. There's plenty of brains being eaten. There's zombies being blown to pieces. There's zombies getting screwdrivers in their head and then commenting on the fact that they have a screwdriver stuck in their head. You have a zombie who is literally blown in half by a shotgun, and he's watching his legs still walk around without the rest of him. The Michael Jackson Thriller zombie makes a cameo appearance toward the end of the film. I'm not sure how the producers of Return of the Living Dead Part 2 weren't sued by Michael Jackson, but apparently they were not. Overall, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is still a really fun, entertaining movie for me. It is a little rough around the edges. There's definitely some moments in the film that could have used a punch-up on the screenplay level. It's not anywhere on the same level as Return of the Living Dead, but it's still a lot of fun. It definitely brings back a lot of good memories. And I just dig it. It's a fun movie. It was really fun revisiting Return of the Living Dead for the first time in quite some time, I do have to say. So thank you, J Superstar 2009, for requesting my review of Return of the Living Dead Part 2. If you guys have any movies out there that you would like me to review, head over to the forum section on my website, follow the link in the description, and leave your review requests there. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. If you've not entered my 10K subscriber giveaway, in which I'm giving away a free $100 Amazon gift card, the new Friday the 13th 8-disc Blu-ray set, or your choice of a hand-painted hockey mask, or a horror shirt, much like the one I'm wearing right now from my TeePublic store, follow that link in the description as well. Head over to my website and enter my 10K subscriber giveaway today. Let me know what your thoughts are on Return of the Living Dead Part 2 down in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on the other Return of the Living Dead films. I know Return of the Living Dead Part 3 has a nice little cult following. Beyond that, the other ones, not so good. Not so good. But let me know your thoughts on those down in the comments section below. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Join the A Buck a Month Club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons, Orc145626, Derek Jana, Richard Mead, Jeremiah Lambert, Craig Farrand, Farron Sutton, B-Movie Mike, Robert Sabel, Turi Delamore, and Johnny Yeager. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.